The Pokemon world is filled with wonders and amazing sights to see. But in between gym battles and story beats, many minor details go unnoticed by trainers. The city we'll be talking about today is Johto's pride and joy. Much of the region's rich history stems from this city. From its towers to even the legendary Pokemon, this is the geography of Ecruteak City. What's up everyone, my name is Tindo and welcome to Pokemon Geography. It's a series where I talk about Pokemon's ever-expanding world and its lore. And what better place to start than with Johto's most exciting city, Ecruteak. If you want to see more content like this, leave a like, sit back and relax, and let's get into the video. Located north of Johto between routes 38 and 42, based on a real-life location of Kyoto, Japan, Ecruteak is known as a historical and mythical city. Fittingly, the buildings all feature traditional Japanese architecture. The region is home to the Kimono Girls. These 5 girls are Zuki, Miki, Naoko, Seiyo, and Kuni. Now, I know they all look the same, but I put them next to the evolutions so everybody can tell, who is who. Pokemon Evolutions does do a much better job at distinguishing these sisters, but initially, they all needed help telling who is who. Their job is to entertain the residents of Johto by retelling the stories of the legendary Pokemon and the towers. But in the event of Heart and Gold Soul Silver, their roles are expanded to find a trainer who is kind and strong enough to capture Lugia or Ho-Oh. Through the main games, your player encounters each of the 5 sisters in various parts of the region, and after helping them, they deem you worthy of fighting the legendary Pokemon. And speaking of the legendary Pokemon, let's talk about those towers. There are 2 known towers in Johto's history, the Bell Tower and the Brass Tower, which is now known as the Burn Tower. These 2 towers were built 700 years prior to the events of the main game, and they were built by Morty's ancestors, the Ghost-type gym leader. Explaining his devout worship to the legendary Pokemon, these 2 towers were built to symbolize the bonds between people and their Pokemon. Let's start with the Bell Tower. Also known as the 10 Tower in the original Gen 2 games and in BDSP, this was said to be where the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh once perched. One day, however, Ho-Oh leaves the building after the Brass Tower burns and is only seen again once the player summons it during the main events of the game after proving his or her heart of pure gold. See what I did there? The tower had 10 floors, and it's implied that the Brass Tower also had 10 floors as the 2 were counterparts to one another. The Bell Tower was based on a real-world Gengaku-ji temple. I am struggling so hard to say these words. Now let's get to its counterpart, the Brass Tower. The Burn Tower was once said to be Lugia's perch. After burning down, Lugia fled to the Royal Islands, and the Brass Tower was never rebuilt. Inside the tower, 3 Pokemon were said to have perished in a fire. However, Ho-Oh left its tower and granted these Pokemon a new chance at life. These Pokemon were known as Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. They represent the lightning that struck the tower, the fire that burned the building, and the downpour that subdued the flames. Some residents of Ecruteak mentioned being there when the tower burned down 150 years ago, making these some of the oldest known NPCs in the franchise, next to AZ of course. The Burn Tower was based on an actual Buddhist temple, Kengaku-ji, that burned down in Kyoto in 1950 and was rebuilt in 1955, unlike the actual Burn Tower in the game. And the Golden Phoenix now rests on top of that, symbolizing its rebirth. Doesn't that sound familiar? The Bell Tower was known where Pokemon awakens, while the Brass Tower was known where Pokemon was put to rest, fittingly enough. Other areas include the Barrier Station, which is a roadblock that prevents the players from accessing the Bell Tower until they have the Fog Badge in the original Gen 2 games, and in Heart and Gold Soul Silver, you access it after your 8 badge, specifically in Heart and Gold. The final area is the Bell Chime Trail, which connects the Barrier Station to the Bell Tower. This area is fall all year round, which is never really explained in the game, most likely due to some Ho-Oh magic. No music plays in this area, the only audio that plays is a player's footsteps. A cool feature is that in the remakes, if the player comes here on Monday and Tuesday, Morty will be found and can be registered to the player's Pokegear. Fun trivia facts is that the Magnet Train from Goldenrod and Saffron was originally going to have a station here in Ecruteak, but was probably scrapped due to Goldenrod and Ecruteak being so close together. And with that, that's the geography of Ecruteak City. A huge thank to Bulbapedia for providing so much helpful info, and to my Patreons. If you want to determine the next geography video, you can join for as little as $1 a month. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Pokemon Geography. I noticed that nobody hasn't done anything like this before, and I really wanted to give a shot at it. This is really fun. I'm trying out a new editing style as well. I hope you guys enjoy this video when it comes out. Again, I'm having a lot of fun doing the research and everything for this. So if you guys want to see more content like this, again, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.